Ah, bollocks. Ah, you beauty. Ready or not, Mr. Newman, here I come.
Floor it!
Well, if that's how you want to play it, Mr. Newman, then that's how we'll play it.
Looking for this, Mr. Carlin?
Ah, Mr. Newman. How nice to make your acquaintance. Give up now. Churchill knows of the deal you've made with the Germans. If you give up now, there will be a fair trial.
Give up? Are you serious? I must say, Mr. Carlin, you have no reason to make threats, for I have you at a disadvantage. You are the only person who stands in the way of me and the Third Reich.
What do they want with a painting, anyhow? It's the worst painting I've ever seen.
So simple-minded. Yes, this painting may be terrible, Mr. Carlin, but it is most remarkable. Its properties are like none other. Properties that intrigue the Führer himself.
So this is it? A politician betraying his own king and country? What's it all for, Alex?
Oh, would you believe I was a soldier once, Mr. Carlin?
Of course I do. After all, MI6 are very resourceful. They've been keeping tabs on you. You know, for a while.
Oh yes. MI6. A rather suspicious lot, aren't they? But yes, I was a soldier, and much like you, my friend, I stood for king and country. That is, until I came back after the First World War ended. You see, before I left to fight in the war to end all wars, I was much in love with the most gracious and beautiful person I had ever met. Every day I would think of her and hope that someday I would get to see her beautiful face again, before the star started going out. But when I came back home, I came to find my wife dead, lying in her own spilt blood, but not by a German. Oh no, the man was British. It turns out my wife was a whore, and had been seeing a lad no more than 16 at most, whilst I had been away. And one night they decided to play one of their games. Game of death and desires. The boy wondered what it would be like to give pleasure to a woman with a loaded pistol, making the very anxiety of death itself pleasurable. But the boy had other plans. He wondered what it was like to kill another person. He wondered what would happen if he pulled the trigger. Would it blow her brains out, or would it just shatter her insides? The result, both. I killed him, of course, but my wife, I just stared down at that whore in her own blood, wishing I'd killed her myself. She had betrayed me. Me! I knew that day that Britain didn't deserve to win the last war, and so when the next war would come, I would be waiting. And when it does, I will act my revenge.
So you betrayed your own country over petty domestic issues? You know, for a traitor, I thought you had a master plan of sorts. But no, you're just pathetic. You won't get away with this, you know.
Oh, I think I have Mr. Carlin. Now I will be welcomed. Welcomed into God's heaven.
So instead of facing your crimes, you took the coward's way out. Bastard.
You have done well, my boy. You have retrieved the painting. Just a shame that Alex Newman couldn't be brought to justice.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. May I ask something, sir?
Considering you have just prevented a catastrophe, Mr. Carlin. Ask away.
Well, it's just, this painting. What's so special about it?
Ah, curious, I see. Well, this painting, Mr. Carlin, is a gateway to another time, another realm, if you will. But it was meant to be securely locked away, but at last, it seems it wasn't hidden well. Oh well, I'm sure the Torchwood Institute would know what to do with it. Any other questions?
Well, yes, actually. You see, it's about my sister, Maria.
Ah, of course. Worried about her, are we?
Of course I am. This war, it's full of traitors and infiltrators. Not a day goes by that I don't worry about my family. Especially after the death of my father on the front lines just over a month back.
I see. Well, you'll be pleased to know, Mr. Carlin, I have in fact received information from the Women's Royal Naval Service in Bletchley Park. Leading Wren Constance Clark has informed me there is no need to worry. She is perfectly safe and amongst friends.
Oh, thank God.
You know, you have an admirable sister, Mr. Carlin. It's women like her with their mathematical minds and their calculations that will win us the war.
Thank you, sir.
Here's the report you requested, Mr. Menzies.
Thank you, my dear. And before you go out, would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you, sir.
Very well, my dear, you may depart.
A report, sir?
Yes, Mr. Cullen. We've received reports from our agents in Germany that a team of researchers are to be stationed out in the South Pole on a mission from Hitler himself. But what puzzles us is this. The head of research, this Professor Schmidt, well, nobody seems to have heard of him. He just seems to have appeared out of nowhere like a phantom, and for some reason Hitler seems to be very interested in him and this mission, and so, in turn, are we.
I see, and I'm guessing you're stationing someone over there to discover what's going on?
You could say that.
Well, may I ask who, if I'm not intruding, sir?
Why? You, of course, Mr. Carlin.
Me? But, sir, I may be a spy, but I'm not a very good one at that.
Oh, Mr. Carlin, I think you underestimate yourself. I think after this evening, you have proven you are just the right man for this job. You are to leave tomorrow night. We will prepare documents for you and improvise a name.
And then?
And then, Mr. Carlin, you are going to infiltrate Base 12, and perhaps, just perhaps, we might find the way to end this war for good.
Please, stop this.
I can't, it's in my programming, Doctor. Now you either help me, or Dr. Adler and his little friend die. After all, I only need one of you to help. So which will it be? Time, Lord?
Neither! Dr. Adel, look out!
It's all falling apart, isn't it? Oh, what joke. Another Nazi exhibition of miserable failure. What a surprise.
The Third Reich isn't to be mocked. You make sure to keep your tongue in check, Mr. Carlin.
Struck a nerve, have I? No, it isn't a joke, is it? You lot, you miserable bastards. You all look up to that Führer of yours, don't you? He obeys every willing command like gullible sheep.
The Führer is our savior. He has made our nation great, and soon he will bring his gift upon the rest of the nation.
Saviour? Gift? Don't make me laugh. Do saviors betray their allies? Send Jews to concentration camps to either be experimented on or executed? Do wrapped gifts with bows hold weapons of mass destruction? Weapons that could destroy everything that has happened or ever will happen? No, they don't. But it's because a troll like you doesn't ever stop to think about that. You just like to look up on your Führer like he's some god.
You speak so much insolence, and yet you forget you have killed two. Yes, I've run checks on you, Daniel, Carlin, and you too aren't free from the guilt of death.
That was different.
Oh, is it now? And please, tell me, how is it so different?
Because the people I have killed threatened to destroy others, and in turn I killed them to protect the innocent. Unlike you, I don't do it from just a simple order. I do it because I have to. But you're wrong. I do feel guilt over the lives I've destroyed. No matter how good or bad they are, the simple act of killing someone is a terrible...
Then we are different, Mr. Carlin. But you still haven't answered any of my questions.
Go to hell.
Now, no need to speak like that. I see, I have no other choice. If I'm to make you speak, I must make you cry for mercy first. Tell me, Mr. Carlin, have you ever known what it feels like having your flesh slashed open?
What?
Sarge, these beasts, they're invincible. As soon as we knock one down, it starts clambering back up again, as if death has no consequence for them.
Keep fighting, Hoffman! Everything dies sooner or later!
Professor Schmidt said you had a friend?
Yeah, a lad known as Daniel Carlin. He's been working as my nurse this past month, and yeah. As you may have guessed, however, he isn't Deutsch.
Ah, interesting. A spy.
Daniel! What are you doing to him, you brute?
It's over.
Officer Ablad!
It's over, Officer Abelard. This exhibition is finished, and you know it. Can't you hear it out there? That's the cries. The cries of your men, screaming as their bodies are being ripped apart like wet tissue paper. And what are you doing? Torturing a boy whilst your men die out there. What kind of officer are you to betray your men?
How dare you attack a commanding officer?
Commanding officer? Then start acting like one.
And who may I ask, are you, little one?
I'm your worst nightmare. Hello, I'm the doctor. And this is what I propose you do, officer. Bring in your men and put this place on lockdown.
And why should I take commands from a woman?
Because if you don't, then I will make sure that when you return home, you will be disgraced with dishonor. Do you understand me?
Sergeant Muller, all personnel to retreat back into base Surf. Immediately. Lockdown procedures must be executed at once.
Right in the way, sir! Retreat! Retreat!
It has been done.
Now this is what I propose we do, officer.
Hang on, I can't have a British spy, let alone a woman, taking over base operations. This facility is under my command.
Well, Officer Abelard, give us your orders. But before you do, consider this. If you want to get out of this alive, then I suggest you listen to what I have to say and keep me and my friends here alive.
And what if I just decide to kill you right here and now?
Then you and your miserable lot are all going to be left to fend for yourselves. Now is that understood?
Very well, Doctor. You are a most challenging woman. I'll play your little game, but when this is all over, I'm going to make sure the pain you feel will be the most excruciating you've ever felt. Understood?
Understood. Now, I have a plan.
That's it. Watch it sway back and forth, back and forth. And you're going to be very calm, aren't you? Very, very calm. Don't worry. Don't worry. You will see your mother. I'll make certain of that. And when you do, nothing on this planet can stop us. For the children of winter will come together at the might of Barissa herself, and not even the doctor can stop her.
Now, as you may all know, we are facing a threat like none other than we've ever faced before. Our very comrades, our defenseless friends have turned us with their savagery and using us for their feasts, and now there are only a few of us left, but it seems we have a traitor in our midst. Professor Schmidt. Yes, he's betrayed us all, betrayed the Third Reich. He has brought this terrible fate amongst us unless we do something about it. Unfortunately, it seems in order to get out of this mess, we're going to need the assistance of the British spies, Daniel Carlen, the doctor, and the man who has been hiding these spies in our midst, Dr. Adal.
But sir, this is most outrageous. We can't work with these venomen.
Silence, Sergeant. Yes, the British and Germany haven't seen eye to eye in the past decade, but today we need to put our differences aside. The doctor here has come up with a plan that could end this. Doctor?
Thank you, Officer Abelard. Now. I know it's much to my dismay that I'm helping you as well, but I'm not just gonna stand around whilst people die all around me. I've had enough of that as of late. And I also believe, even with all the terrible things you all have done in this war, that you will one day look back and be disgusted by the very actions you have caused to make this world a darker place. But enough of that. Yes, we have a traitor. Professor Schmidt. He has not only betrayed you all, but he has been manipulating events behind your backs ever since this exhibition began. And you lot have followed his orders, blindly. And now people are dying. I had hoped to stop this much earlier, but believe me, it isn't too late. We're facing a great evil, not just Professor Schmidt or the zombies, but something he's after, something in the very ice underneath us all. I suspect our professor crash-landed on this planet, trying to find her. And now after centuries of doing so, he's finally near to recovering his majesty.
Finding who exactly?
The goddess Boreas. We've to find her before he does, because if he releases her power into this world, then it will not just be the end of your miserable lives, but the end of the human race itself. Now, who's with me? Well, then this is what I propose we do.
An absolutely remarkable woman, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I do. A truly magnificent woman. I never thought I'd see the day a woman would rally up the Nazis.
What are you doing, Doc?
Pass me that screwdriver, will you please? I would prefer my sonic, but it seems to be out of use. Thank you. You're that spy kid, aren't you? Daniel Carlin? A bit young, aren't we, for doing espionage work?
Not at all. I am, after all, in my 20s, but I do look rather young, don't I?
Well then, nice to meet you. I'm the doctor. And to answer your question, I'm working on a transcendental remote control. With this, I can transmit a signal over to my TARDIS, and fingers crossed, she should be able to come to me. But I need the key.
TARDIS?
Isn't it obvious? TARDIS stands for time and relative dimensions in space. But to put it simply, a time machine.
A time machine?
Is it still so hard to imagine, even after all that's happened today so far?
Of course it is. A time machine. I read that book, by that H.G. Wells fellow.
Ah, H.G. Wells. An insufferable young man, but soon grew up to be a man of fine literature. I guess you understand the basic fundamentals of time travel.
Not really, but that's not the point. It's impossible. You can't just turn the clock back and forward whenever you like in history.
Oh, Daniel. You're a smart boy, but there is a lot you still need to learn. Fine. If you don't believe me, how about I show you?
Show me.
Ah, finished. Do you have the key I sent for?
This doc?
Yes, thank you. Now if I attach my TARDIS key onto this remote, I should be able to send a series of coordinates into my ship's circuits, and hopefully, just hopefully, she'll arrive at our present location. Just like so.
But it's
a police box? Yes, but no. Daniel Carlin, I would like to introduce you to my oldest friend, the TARDIS.
Hear that?
What?
Exactly. Silence. And I'm not so sure that's a good thing.
What was that?
I don't know. I'll take a look if it's that professor guy. I'll give him what's coming to him.
Be careful.
Excellent work, Axel. Now let's get to work. Now let's see. Aha! Now, young Axel, you shall be united with your brothers. You know what you must do? The children of winter must show these mortals the might of Boressa.
Doctor, it's the lockdown. 2 guards are dead. It seems Axel and the professor outwitted us.
Damn! I was rather hoping Axel would be out of the professor's control. I think it's time we ended this. I had a feeling Professor Schmidt would try something like this, but I was hoping to prevent more bloodshed. Hopefully he and his friends out there will be too occupied fighting Nazis to notice us slipping away. But what he doesn't know is that I have given them an advantage.
An advantage?
Yes, but no time to explain now. We've got to slip away as quickly as possible. Coming, Dr. Adel?
What on earth?
It's my TARDIS! A spaceship! If it makes any easier for you to comprehend.
Well, I would love to. But I must attend to my men. Make sure they don't come to any harm.
Very good. You're a brave man, Doctor.
And you're a brave woman, Doctor. A brave woman indeed. Oh, and before I go, Officer Uplad's men have prepared the canisters, and those beasts are going to get quite the surprise.
Canisters?
Yes, grenades, but grenades filled with knockout gas. Come on! Ah, Professor. What a surprise. Oh, I must say, you don't look well now, do you?
Enough pleasantries, Doctor! I had anticipated you would attempt something like this. Trying to slip away into your TARDIS was occupied? Oh no, Doctor, you miscalculated. And now you're going to take me to Her Majesty. Otherwise, this my boy dies.
I'd rather die before helping a tooth-faced prick like you.
Oh, how delicious that reference was. A reference way before its time. I'm sure you would, but I don't think the doctor here would agree with you.
He's right, I don't. There's been enough bloodshed today. Come on in.
I suppose your ship had seen better days, Time Lord.
Yes, she has. The poor thing risked her own life to get me here. Shows the urgency, don't you think?
Many people have risked their lives for you, haven't they, Doctor? What was your little friend called? Oh yes, I remember Rachel. Such a sweet little thing too. Bad she had to be disposed of.
Rachel!
Don't you talk to me about her.
Yes, let's not. We're wasting valuable time. Take me to my majesty, Doctor!
I don't think I can do that right now, Professor.
Do it, Doctor, or the boy dies!
Doc, I don't know who this bloody Boreas woman is and what they can do, but I know you mustn't take him to her. Doctor!
Oh, Doctor, you are still so weak. Regeneration's like a lottery, isn't it?
Where are we?
An underground ice cavern. One that hasn't been discovered for centuries. If I am right, Boreas crashed to this planet over a millennium ago. Buried in ice, lost.
But are you alright, Doctor? That regenerative energy thing, whatever the professor called it, seems to have weakened you so.
Yes, I'm fine. Now stop worrying, we have a god to find.
It's more of that stuff. What is it?
That, Daniel, is ink.
Ink?
Yes, it must have been seeping through the ice for centuries, just waiting for someone like the Nazis to discover it. I have a feeling we're on the right trail. Come on.
My word, it can't be what I think it is, can it?
I'm rather afraid it is. That, Daniel, is what you Earthlings call a spaceship.
Yes! Her Majesty's palace. Go on, Doctor. Open the doors or your friend here gets a nasty shock.
You really need to stop waving that weapon of yours around. It makes me nervous.
Precisely why I'm doing so. Open it! Ladies first? Isn't that the phrase, Mr. Cullen?
Oh my lord, it's a squid! A giant squid! But what are those wires attached to its tentacles?
Humans, your capacity for understanding is limited. It may look like a squid, but in actuality, it's greatness herself. Those tentacles you call Colin are attached to those series of wires because Her Majesty is inking out substance out the ship and through the ice, hoping to build an army for when she awakens. Behold, Doctor and Daniel, behold the goddess Borissa!
You won't get away with this, Professor.
Oh, quite, Doctor. I think I already have.
Who awakens me from my slumber?
Oh, my dear Borissa, it is I, your savior. I have traveled across the timelines to free you from your eternal imprisonment. Now you are free to show this world the will of Borissa.
I have been trapped for so long. My ship crashed, lodged in the ice. Controls malfunctioned. Trapped. I thirst for freedom. I am, however, weak. I must be freed from this cavernous waste.
Oh, do you now? Hello, I'm the doctor, and I might just be able to help.
Doctor, I sense. No, you're not human, are you? No, you're a Time Lord.
Indeed I am, Your Majesty, but please do accept my offer.
Very well. Your TARDIS along with the Earth shall be mine. But I must be first reunited with my children!
Doc, what are you doing?
So, Boreas, where first? You've already shared your disease and control over the South Pole, and soon it will spread. Where should we go next? Egypt? The Netherlands?
My children of winter, Doctor! My children! Take me to my children!
Or, I know, how about this? Hold on, Daniel.
You have betrayed me, Time Lord!
Doctor! Shut those doors, otherwise!
Enough threats, Professor! You've lost. I've disabled the use of firearms in my ship. Now no one, not even you, can be harmed.
Doctor, you will die for this!
You killed her!
Yes, I have. Now the future you have come from will cease to ever have existed. And if that doesn't exist, then you don't exist. Goodbye, Professor Schmidt.
No!
What happened?
By destroying Boreas, the future that the Professor came from, it ceases to exist. Of course, it still exists in an alternate reality. For every decision a man commits creates several possible timelines. And perhaps in one of those timelines, I have failed. But thankfully we didn't. Come on, I think it's time we return to base 12. Welcome back, Daniel. Let's see how our friends are doing. But how?
Dr. Adel, what happened?
Stand back, Daniel. He's infected. If you touch him, you'll become infected too.
But I can't just leave.
Don't worry. He won't have to endure this long. The infection's connection was cut when Boreas died. That ink was a kind of wireless connection, if you will. A connection that can destroy what it means to be human, and leave its victims in utter control of its master.
Oh, what happened to you, Dr. Adel?
They were too strong. They tore my legs to pieces. But they pumped me with their filth. It coursed through me. Loss of blood won't last long. You were wrong, Doctor. The gas, it didn't stop them. In fact, they adapted to it. I'm sorry I failed you. Goodbye.
No, Doctor, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for failing you. Come on, Daniel. It's time we're off.
Yesterday morning at 2:41 a.m. at General Eisenhower's headquarters, General Jodl, the representative of the German High Command, and of Grand Admiral Dönitz, the designated head of the German state, signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Forces and simultaneously to the Soviet High Command. Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday, the 8th of May. We may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing. Today is Victory in Europe Day. Tomorrow will also be Victory in Europe Day. We must now devote all our strength and resources to the completion of our tasks, both at home and abroad. Advance Britannia. Long live the cause of freedom. God save the King.
It's over. It's finally all over. Doctor, have you heard it? It's over. It's all over.
Indeed, I have. Congratulations, Daniel. I've been following up on your work, you know. Impressive stuff.
Thank you, Doc. I suppose it won't be the end of it all, though. They said the last war would be the war to end all wars, but they were wrong. There will be more, won't there, Doc?
Yes, I'm afraid there will. But the future isn't all dark. It will get better, you know. For now, though, we will celebrate this day in triumph, because as a species, you lovely lot have fought well against the evil. The evil that has plagued this world for too long, and now it's all over. Not a lot of species can do that, you know. That's what makes the human race unique.
Oh, thank you. So what now? I don't think you just came to stay for the celebrations.
No, I haven't. But I have come to show you something. Have a look.
You've redecorated. I like... Doc? How long has it been since you last saw me?
Oh, a few days?
I see. Time travel and all that. It wasn't your fault, you know. They would have died no matter what you would have done. Life is like that, you know?
Yes, but no matter how bad or good they were, Daniel, I wanted to save someone. Just someone. And maybe I could make a difference in their lives. Show them the fault in their ways.
I know, but it doesn't do any good looking back on the past, thinking what you could have done to prevent past mistakes. Besides, you saved me.
I came from that future, you know. The one that could have been if Professor Schmidt and Boreas had won.
But they didn't.
I know, but I lost a dear friend of mine there. She was beautiful, smart, joyful.
Is this Rachel?
Yes. She risked her life for me. Shot down by a mad woman during my escape. I would do anything to save her, but I know if I do that, I might start this sorry business all over again.
I lost someone too.
Who?
My father. You see, he died a few years back. He was a soldier fighting on the front lines, but he was captured and tortured by the Germans until he died. And when I got the telegram in, I cried my eyes out for hours. Not something you would expect from an ex-secret agent, I know, but my father, he was the kindest man I'd ever known. So soft, so gentle.
I'm sorry. Your father sounds like an incredible man.
He was.
Anyway, as you say, no looking back on the past. Now we look toward the future. How about I take you on a trip?
Well, my sister's coming down later, and...
Come on, just this once. Yeah, I know you've got things to do, but it will be the trip of a lifetime. And I can get you back in time for tea.
Go on then.
Fantastic! I think I'll show you the future.
The future it is.
Oh, and Daniel?
Yes?
Welcome aboard.
Incoming transmission, Mr. Liss.